How do you stay passionate about language learning when life gets hard? Hi, Ethan, and everyone else at Refold. I've been working on immersion learning on and off for about 4 months, but I recently graduated college and my living situation is unstable with a lot of uncertainty where I'm going to be living or what my employment situation will be like. Given that this journey is for the long haul, how have you or some of the more successful people with refolding been able to make it through the tougher times? And is it okay to even fall off during these times? Any advice or personal anecdotes would be helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. There are definitely people who think, oh, if I drop this, it's a failure. And I would say that sometimes that's a useful thing to think. It's like, okay, I want to keep this thing in my life in the long term. But sometimes things do just get in the way. Sometimes life is very hard, and sometimes there's other things that are higher priority. And so one of the things that I found really helpful, because I've definitely gone through this experience as well, is that when something is so emotionally draining or difficult that it is standing in the way of my personal development goal, like learning a language, sometimes it's more important just to figure out that core thing before coming back to your passionate goal. Like if you are let's say you're looking for a job, right? And that's a stressful experience. You're like trying to figure out what to do with your life. You just graduated college, you're looking for a job, and once you have that job, it sort of like makes everything else fit together, because then you have income, then you have like a routine. And so sometimes trying to do both of those things at the same time is actually counterproductive, because the job search may require 100% of your effort and doesn't really leave much room for anything else. And if you just half-ass it and only give half your attention to the job search, then it's possible that that won't yield the results that you want. And so what I tend to like to do is put time barriers on certain activities or certain initiatives. So I'll say, rather than like, oh, I am going to study or I'm going to learn Spanish, I would instead say, I am going to spend 6 months studying Spanish. Because what that allows me to do is say, during that 6-month time frame, say, I'm not going to do anything else. Anything else that I want to do, I can push until after the 6 months is up. Whereas if I don't set a time frame on it, then I keep having ideas and then I get distracted and whatever else. So in your case, if the primary thing that you need to do to get your life in order is to get a job, or to find a place to live, or to figure out like what city you're going to live in, then I would encourage you to spend 3 months or so 100% focused on that. Get it solid, get it sorted out, put language learning on hold until that is solid and you can move to like the next phase of your life. And then it frees up an enormous amount of time and energy for you to focus on the things that you want to do rather than the things you need to do. Having the needs dealt with, having Maslow hierarchy of needs, if you get your needs dealt with, it just frees up so much mental energy for the things that you want to do. And until you have those needs met, it can be really, really hard to invest time and energy into the things you want to do. And it can be counterproductive if you're trying to do both at the same time.
I think the other approach that you've also talked about before is if you can get it to a point where it's a comfortable relaxation thing. Right? You mentioned there was a time when you were starting Refold where Spanish was your way to turn off work mode sort of thing. And it's like, okay, now I need some time to sit and relax. But you basically only did free flow, if I recall correctly. And that's another way where you can sort of say, all right, this time is that me time that is actually going to help me recharge and be more excited about what I'm doing tomorrow. And that can be another, almost an escape if you need something that is less stressful than literally constantly doing X, Y, or Z.
Yeah. For me, like, I find it really useful to have a piece of content that just leads me through a story so I can turn my brain off. So listening to an audiobook is a really nice way for me to turn my brain off. And most of the audiobooks that I listen to are in Spanish. So the Way of King series has been great for that. It's just, they're so long and the worlds are so complex and intricate. Like I can just turn that on and like each one is like 55 hours long.
It's crazy.
And so it's a great way to just turn off my brain and not worry about work for a while. And so, but that's only possible because I've reached a level with Spanish where I can comfortably understand fantasy content, even though I don't catch everything because there's tons of words in there that I do not know. I can at least follow the story pretty easily. And that's sufficient for me to turn my brain off.
Hey, as you know, there's a lot of language learning advice out there, which can make it kind of overwhelming and difficult to actually get going on your own learning. If you feel like you're struggling to figure out language learning, you're not alone. It's an extremely complicated process with tons of different steps. If you're looking for a step-by-step guide to create the perfect language learning routine for you, then you have to check out our new course. We spent thousands of hours designing a simple and straightforward process that you can use to create your own personalized language routine that actually works. We understand that every learner is different and that you have to roll with the punches and adapt. Every day for 30 days, I walk you through everything you need to know to build an effective learning routine, no matter your circumstances. We give you the advice and resources you need to ensure your success, so you don't have to waste time looking for stuff to do and can focus on learning. And if any questions do come up, don't worry. We are always there to answer any questions and clear up confusion. And it's all backed by our 90-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If, for whatever reason, something's not quite working for you, we insist you get every penny back. It's time for you to stop wishing that you could learn a second language. It's time to become the master of your language learning journey. Check out the link below to get instant access and start your journey today.